Hello and welcome back to the channel and this new video. Today, as you read from the title and saw from the cover, the time has finally come to get my hands on the Panigale. This is a project in collaboration with WRS, which I introduced to you at the beginning of this 2025, and it's experiencing a few small delays. Since the trend is new and even the manufacturers of aftermarket parts are kind of chasing it to develop new accessories. But this doesn't stop us because today, as I already mentioned in the video where I showed you the graphics, first small box with what looks like a control panel. Just so you know, it's a kill switch, not quite a control panel, but it does have a nice button. And now we're ready to get the bike running properly. That's not true, I'm joking because the bike is always under my careful watch. So none of that will actually happen. At least let's cross our fingers and knock on wood. This needs to be installed. Now let's see what we can do together in this video. I might install the other things off camera since there's already a lot to set up. And then you'll definitely see them on my Instagram page. That's why I say it's important to follow me, right? What do you think? Let's check out more things. Still Jet Prime jewelry here. We have a nice left control panel. Here it is, a little control unit to operate all the commands, which are obviously placed both in the front and in the back. One side wasn't enough, so we made two. The Panigale has a lot of buttons and that's just how it is. Obviously there's a left control panel, but also a right control panel. This is the on-off Ducati power launch switch, which stands for Ducati power launch or PIT depending, and the start button. And then we have the last two things. The first is the Jet Prime no backfire, which is a pulsed air injection reactor removal kit. Basically, these two little covers replace the current valves located on top of the engine. They remove, thanks also to the electronic bypass and the emulator, the error in the engine control unit, so we won't have any error codes after tuning. A very important detail is that if you want to do things properly, it's necessary to install it. Obviously, we'll save this for later when we go to install the exhaust, filter, and engine control unit. And then here, guys, last but not least, we have it, the quick throttle control. Here it is, done, closed, that's it, we don't have any more. It replaces the original throttle control, has less travel, and this allows us to give 100% throttle, full butterfly opening in less time and with less movement. Now, first of all, I would proceed with the installation of the switch panels. Let's see how far we get and if we can manage to do everything within this video or if we need to break up the installation of these wonderful components. Reviewing multiple videos, let's begin with removing the battery cover. Honestly, I don't remember at all the steps that Roberto did on the previous model, so I'll just kind of feel my way through, mainly to figure out how to install the button panels, which are the thing that worries me the most. Now, this should be a snap fit. Okay, we got it. And by doing this, we have access to all this good stuff here. There are quite a few cables running underneath here, so let's unscrew them. Also, the situation here with the key block, and then we'll see if we can also install the kill switch for the ignition. Anyway, these plastic parts here need to be removed to access the cable passage underneath. Step 2. After removing the cover, we take off the brake lever and the clutch lever controls. This is because we need space to reach the actual block and be able to remove it. And after removing just a tiny bit from the bike, the entire side fairing is gone, it's flown off. We've finished removing everything that was mounted on the right clip-on, and we're finally maybe ready to disconnect the original throttle control, which really made our job harder when installing the Jet Prime components. And that's because Ducati had the brilliant idea to put the connector for this beautiful throttle control right under the ABS pump. And down here we have this big little connector, which is nothing other than the throttle control. And after removing the throttle control, we're ready to take it and set it aside. Take the Jet Prime quick throttle control with the matching ignition switch, which will then be mounted together like this here. Look at how the color also matches well with the graphics. Obviously, these choices weren't made by chance. Okay, let's insert it and pin it in place, then we'll center it properly. once we've installed the throttle grip and everything else. And after closing up the entire right side, which is now basically complete, we have the quick throttle, the on-off switch cluster, the power launch, and the brake. All good. We need to move to the left side, where fortunately, Ducati decided to put the connector for the switch block right at the end of the cable, so I don't have to mess around too much.
Under the tank, in fact, we just need to take our largest wrench and remove
the handlebar end weight with the wrench. Help ourselves to remove the grip, and after that we're ready to proceed. Just like on the ignition switch, also on the left control block, use a flathead screwdriver. We insert it underneath, pull back after releasing the pin, and we're done. Here it is, the pin that held it in place. And this is the left block, complete with spacer. Because between the grip and the block, that is this plastic piece, which basically serves no purpose except to provide the correct spacing for the grip. On the left handlebar, we take our jet prime block and we're ready to position it. We can also temporarily fasten this one to the handlebar. And here, very easily, we have the connector where we need to connect the original one, and that's it. We're done. Ready to stop. This one, even if we wanted to do a proper installation, we don't leave it here in this area, but we still run it under the steering plate. This way, we won't have all this stuff visible. Here we connect it properly, and that's it. And all this little block here. If we want, we can place it, maybe using a cable tie inside in the area of the tank near the battery. Now let's do a test to see if everything fits well. I would say we're good, and we can also think about. As usual, I thank you for watching, and I invite you to leave me a comment below, maybe suggesting an accessory that I can install on this amazing Panigale. 5/4/2025, stay safe and keep the throttle open. Bye!